Well, hey there, Bright Light, and welcome to this week's episode of Urban Shamanism with me, Steffi Funk, where I give you the sacred energy tools for an extraordinary life in the concrete jungle. And this week, we are in episode number 11 of our 12-part video series, The 12 Universal Laws of Divine Purpose, where I am sharing with you universal laws as sure as gravity that you can rely on for both clarifying and manifesting your divine purpose, so you can work with the flow of the universe instead of against it. With that, let's dive right into today's episode, the 11th law, which is like sweet relief for the type A perfectionistic overachieving soul. And that is this: your divine purpose is always God's creation, not yours. You are just the faucet for divine flow. Here's what this means. Spirit inspires you with your divine purpose because it's exactly the medicine that the hurting world needs. You are merely the channel for Spirit's creation. You already have healer-healed agreements you brought with you into this lifetime, people out there just waiting for you to open the creative flow. Even if your purpose is jewelry making, you have people waiting to be healed by it. For example, the beauty it will bring them. It's all divine medicine for your agreements, whatever inspires you. So when it comes to divine purpose work, it's so much less about doing than it is about opening. You can always trust that what you've been inspired with is exactly right, and then just take the next inspired action. The universe will take care of the rest. And here's the most fabulous part. Because Spirit inspired it, Spirit will also take care of the results and outcomes. The only tiny thing left for you to do is take the next inspired action. And take it as the most sacred, holy act there ever was, because you are doing it on Spirit's behalf. And then hand it all back over to Spirit, trusting that the highest and best is always coming out of your action for everyone touched by it. So there's this cycle of creation. Get inspired, take the step, hand it over. From God, for God, back to God. But here's where you might get stuck. The pesky ego constantly feels separate from Spirit and will say things like this: I have to figure it out. I have to do it all myself. If I don't do it, it won't get done. I have to work hard. I have to be in control. The problem here is that when you affirm these things, you are taking power away from Spirit. You are affirming to the universe, I don't trust you. And then shit feels scary. You don't feel safe, you don't feel supported, and you make all your decisions based on fear and survival. When you remember that you are just the hollow bone who receives and then translates Spirit's inspiration, you get to make expansive, playful choices that are in line with what lights you up. And know that whatever gets created is perfect, no matter what your ego would have you believe. Trusting law number 5 to provide you the freedom and abundance that automatically comes from listening to your heart over your mind. Your mind is a great servant. It is meant to take the messages received by your heart and translate them into a medium the world can receive. But it is not meant to be the master decision maker because it is driven by the ego that cannot think beyond its own programming. So it's impossible for anything expansive, fresh, or new to come from your mind. So this brings me to your weekly inner shaman practice, which will allow you to leverage this law. Before anything you do, starting your day, making an important phone call, sending an email, working with a client, making a piece of jewelry, whatever, invite God in. Say something like this: Great Spirit, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to do your good work in the world. Make me a hollow bone for your light, your creation, and your healing. Allow everyone I touch to be blessed by your essence, and may the highest and best unfold for all whom this creation touches. I hereby hand this over to you. Show me how to work. I do this invocation before every healing with every client, and it's miraculous. I can trust that what comes out of the healing is exactly right because I put God in charge, not me. Thank God. Pun intended. And my clients can feel it too. They get miraculous healings that's far beyond anything my limited human self could achieve on its own. The things that come in and through are truly divine. And even just before this video, I just quickly invited God in, affirmed I was the hollow bone, and handed it over. It only took an instant. And now Spirit is doing this, not me. It's so refreshing because it helps us get out of our willpower in feeling like we are alone, having to push, effort, force, strain, or control. The motivation instead comes from true inspiration, an impulse that moves you so powerfully, you can't not do it. And I don't have to be perfect because I know what comes out is exactly right. I just keep following my joy meter to the next inspired action, and God does the rest. My work is actually not about me at all. Isn't that an enormous relief? You aren't doing it. God is. Spirit is translating divine flow through your unique prism, your particular flavor of consciousness. So here's what you learned today. 1, the 11th universal law of divine purpose, and that is that your divine purpose is always God's creation, not yours. You are just the faucet for divine flow. 2, where you might get stuck with it. And 3, how to work with it energetically using this week's inner shaman practice. Now take action. Download your cheat sheet, The 12 Universal Laws of Divine Purpose, at steffifunk.com/divine purpose laws. Then let me know in the comments, what's the next thing on your list today that you can remember to call Spirit into, and then do it. And remember to hand it all back over when you're done. And yay for sticking with me this far. You definitely won't want to miss next week's episode of Urban Shamanism and the 12th and final universal law of divine purpose, which is, dare I say it, the most profound, powerful, and magical law of all. See you then.